Today we came to Bath just for a day trip because the day is looking good, nice and sunny. We just got here, we can have a little wander around. First point is this Pulteney Weir, a very well known point in Bath, which is a good spot for a photo and just to enjoy the views. There's a little restaurant in there actually inside the bridge, which we've been before. We might go in there for a little coffee. And we just went past the pastel de nata place that we like as well, so we might pop in there. And we'll probably have a little walk along the river, I think, just along by the Bath Rugby Stadium as well. So we'll go and take a look along there. So just next to the Abbey, we have the Roman baths. You can see the sign there. There's not much of a queue today, actually. Normally when we're coming here, there's a huge queue to get in. These are the ancient baths, used sort of hundreds of years, really. I mean, obviously you can't go in these baths anymore. There are baths we'll show you later that you can go in, the Thermae Bath Spa. But yeah, this is obviously Bath. It's ancient waters that were used as sort of like healing, rejuvenating sort of spa waters going back to the Roman times. Still very well preserved in there. You can buy a ticket just to go in, you can buy a ticket for a tour. The tours are quite good. They have sort of like obviously audio descriptions of what you're seeing. If you walk to the side here, you can just sort of see through there the heads of some statues that stand on the sort of the top above where the actual baths are. So it's worth doing. I'll check the entry fee and we'll pop that on there on video. This is sort of the other side of it. If you come walking around the back, obviously the baths are in there. But yeah, next door to that you've got the pump room, which is sort of like a cafe, restaurant style thing, and you can have sort of light bites and cakes, coffees in there. So yeah, that's a little bit about the baths. You can read an old sign there. I'll just head back the other way actually, just slightly, because as you might not have seen, I was facing the camera the other way, is that basically this is a very popular little popular area for people to sit down, listen to some live music, some sort of buskers perform there. There's nice little streets down there, just off the main bits, but yeah, you can see like the crowds around the Abbey basically. Lots of tour groups, as you get with big cities or popular cities. You've got the live music there. So yeah, they're all very sort of close and central in the middle. There's the Abbey here. You can get your bearings quite quickly in Bath. It's not a big place. I checked on the entry for the Abbey today. It's sort of like timed entry, so you can buy your tickets to go in later on. There was next entry was 4:30, so about an hour and a half from where we are now.
There's a gargoyle coming down.
And here's, back to the baths entrance. Lots of people enjoying the weather today. As I mentioned, that's the, you see the pump room there. That was the restaurant I mentioned. Not so sure what it needs a security guard on the door, to be honest. Makes it look like a nightclub. And I think it's far from a nightclub if you actually go in there, so. So this is like the second of the baths in Bath. This is the Thermae Bath Spa, which is the one you can swim in, basically. So the old Roman baths, you can't go into, you just visit and walk around. This Thermae Bath Spa, as you can see maybe from up there, is the one you could actually swim in. They've got a rooftop pool, lovely on a day like today. And I think it's over 3 floors on the bottom. There's a nice big pool with a jacuzzi, spas. In the middle, they've got sort of steam rooms with different scents, different smells. And you can sort of work your way up the building and back down again, basically. So it's a very nice way to spend a couple of hours. I think you can actually have sort of meals in there as well, like lunches or bite to eat while you're having your sort of spa sessions and stuff. So, but yeah, what a day! What a day to have it on the rooftop pool today. You'd have really got your luck if you'd have booked today. Which is why we didn't book today, because we're not lucky. If we booked, it'd be raining up there. You can see on there a little bit. Obviously undergoing a few repairs at the moment, so it doesn't look as nice at the entrance, but the entrance is just beyond these signs, basically. This is very cool. I'm not sure I noticed this before when we've come, actually. So it's called the Cross Bath and the Cross Spring. Grade 1 listed building, scheduled ancient monument. 1st century AD. So, really historic place.
It's really warm today.
Beautiful day. We chose a really good day to come here, I think.
Where are we going now?
I think we're gonna go along by the river now. We're gonna walk down there.
And maybe we can try the Nata.
We're gonna try test out the Nata here. Yeah. We tried, there's a few Nata places popping up in England now. There weren't many before, were there? So we went in Bath, and just after we got back from Lisbon, where we had some really nice Nata, we found this place in Bath, actually. So, and it was good, So we're going to try and go back there. In Lisbon, you can actually watch them making the Nata in the window, making them fresh.
We're going to be there next month.
So only 4 or 5 weeks, I think, we're back there. So that'll be our next video. And we're going to try. Hopefully that'll be just as nice as the Lisbon ones. I like the look of that one.
Hangisini sevdin?
Burada. It's like rhubarb. It's rhubarb in Turkish. And raspberry.
Deneriz.
Steve,
I'm not gonna have one. Yeah.
Evet Gülcan, ne aldın bize?
Fıstıklı nata. İlk defa deneyeceğim.
Oo, güzele benziyor.
Yerken çekmiyor.
Steve, sende ne var?
Sade ama ve cinnamon.
Cinnamon under. Yeah.
Çok güzelmiş. Taze taze.
We've come to the Holburne Museum. Going to have a little coffee, maybe a bite to eat. It's got a nice little cafe in the back, so if you come to that and want something to go, this is a good place.
Evet, neredeyiz bugün Gülcan?
Bugün Bath'a geldik.
Ne yapacağız bugün?
Annem ve babam Türkiye'den bizi ziyarete geldi.
Merhaba
Nazire, Ali Bey.
Special guest.
Ali Bey, saçınız çok hoş.
Teşekkür ederiz.
Kahve içiyoruz şimdi. Buranın en sıcak kahvesi bile buz gibi. O yüzden su gibi içiyoruz.
Ne içiyorsun baba sen? Mocha.
Mocha.
Steve, sen ne içtin?
Flat white for me.
Nasıldı? Güzel mi?
Güzel.
Sıcak mıydı?
Şöyle böyle. İdare et.
Müzedeyiz.
Holburne Museum.
Okay.
Holburne Museum. You don't need müze card yok.
Müze kartı
Müze
ihtiyacın
kartı
yok.
da. Çalış.
Ama senin müze kartın var değil mi?
Evet.
Türkiye'de. Evet.
Evet. Galata Tower.
Evet, Galata Tower. Ama farklı bir isim ile.
Evet, but nice place to have a coffee and a cake. Nice garden. Quite busy today.
Evet.
Hava güzel. Çiçekler açmış. Bakın.
Çünkü burada anneler günü bugün. Anneler günün kutlu olsun anne.
Teşekkür ederiz.
Evet. İyi bayramlar Steve.
Evet, iyi bayramlar herkese.
Baklava yaptın mı?
Yok.
Akşama.
Akşama.
Kadın çekeceğim kardeşimize.
Kadayıf.
Feels like spring's in the air, eh, Mello?
Evet. It's so nice,
People out
beautiful.
on the bike today, playing tennis, walking by the river, walking by the canals. Feels like first day of spring.
Evet, Melis Hanım bize buranın özelliğini anlatın. Neresi burası? Neredeyiz biz şimdi?
Güzel bir soru, bilmiyorum.
Sanırım eskiden soylu ailelerin yakınları burada yaşıyormuş. Orası burası değil mi?
Burası değil ki.
Ha. Burası güzel.
Güzel. Çok güzel.
Hep lüks arabalar var kapılarında. Demek ki zengin bir muhit.
Türküler her yerde.
Annemin hemen kulakları zaten.
Merhaba.
Merhaba.
Acırtır.
Nereye gidiyorsunuz?
Bilmiyorum.
Ha, nereye gidiyoruz?
Sen söyle, nereye gidiyoruz?
Royal Crescent.
Evet. More details.
Very famous site in Bath because it's about when we get there, you'll see it's about 30 or so homes in like a sweeping circle.
Okay, we're back. We're back, yeah. So, Royal Crescent, famous spot in Bath. It's like a sweeping crescent of houses, about 30 terraced homes, all together in sort of Georgian architecture style. It's and it's obviously the Royal Victoria Park to the left here, which is going to be very popular on a day like today. Very popular. Last time we came here, I think it was all sort of winter time and there was no one in that park, so yeah, much better, much nicer day today. Nice spot for a picnic. Nice spot for a picnic, Mello.
Yeah. It is.
So yeah, it's about 30, I'm told by the internet, it's about 30 homes. It looks more, I would say. That's what it says, but it looks more. Yeah. And it's a lot. Most of them are actually still owned by people. They're like privately owned. There's a hotel that's part of it, number 1 Royal Crescent. But most of them, yeah, still privately owned, just like residents who live here. So lucky them. The numbers 15 and 16 have been combined to create the number 1 Royal Crescent Hotel and Spa. So I guess that's probably in the middle somewhere, maybe in there. Look at that grass, perfectly green. Looks like it's been cut recently. It's been, it's the scene, like they film a lot of period dramas here, sort of Victorian era, sort of like TV shows and films, because obviously like you take the cars out of that. If you take the cars out of that scene behind me, then it would look very much in the Victorian era, so there's nothing much has changed since then. Maybe the doors potentially, like a bit more modern, but the building not so much. So yeah, sort of you think of like Bridgerton and series like that. So yeah, Bridgerton, like three series, Pursuit of Love, Persuasion. If you're a fan of that sort of thing, then this is where a lot of the filming is done. How much do you reckon these go for, Mello? Property prices here?
I can imagine.
Millions, I think. I don't think we're going to be buying here.
No chance.
We can just sit in the park.
Yeah,
That'd be all right, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'm not sure why no one's...
Mustafa Kemal.
Mustafa Kemal, evet, yeah, we can afford that. Çok güzel Mustafa Kemal, yeah. Natasha here, number 1. I'm not sure what the difference is between that bit. There's the park and then you've got this green bit here and then no one's on. I think maybe that sort of ridge in the middle is like where people are like, is that sort of where you're not allowed to cross? It looks like a moat or something.
Private.
It looks like this is probably the private land belonging to the houses.
It was like just in front to me.
So I just wanted to come down here. I popped the microphone on just so people can hear me. I didn't have it on earlier. You can see Mello stayed up there on the bridge. You might probably maybe can't see, but she is there, believe me. But yeah, just come down here to show you what it's like from sort of river level. So the bridge there, so the cafe in the bridge there is quite popular. Lots of people out and about today, guy in the kayak. So yeah, it's a really nice spot, Pulteney Weir. Really nice picture spot. You can see a lot of people in the gardens beyond there. I think you have to pay to go into those gardens unless you're a resident. We'll probably walk past the gate, the fence sign, in a little bit to explain that. But yeah, I think I've seen before, you can't just go into that park, that particular park there, unless you're a resident. You have to pay. So I'll check that one out for you. But yeah, there's a river cruise going on there. There's lots happening. People just out enjoying their day. There's a Thai restaurant actually just in the bridge there as well. That's quite busy this afternoon. So we're just going to take a little walk just along the riverside here, because I also wanted to show you. I mentioned earlier about Bath Rugby's ground that you can actually walk in. There's people enjoying their cruise there. So just quickly, and there's more. There's the pub there called the Boater, which you walk past on the street above, and it's actually got really good views out the back. It's got a really good, nice back garden in the terraced area. Ponte Vecchio, Old Bridge, Italian restaurant there. So yeah, and the actual, if you come down here, the Bath Rugby ground is actually only about it was less than a minute's walk really. So we're just going to walk down here. You can see the sign there. So we're going to have a little look inside. So river there. Bath Rugby Club here. And you say the door's open. Capiach. You go into the stand here, the Thatcher's stand. You've got sort of the clubhouse there. The changing rooms are actually in that little bit there, we'll show in a minute. But yeah, you can basically take the steps up and basically walk up into the stand. You can't sit down, obviously, in the stand itself, but you can walk straight up and see the pitch, which looks magnificent on a day like today. You see the posts there, the stands, the hills, houses in the background. Yeah, so all quiet today. On match day, a lot louder. But how great does that look? Green grass, you see the broadcast sort of cameras sitting on there. Yeah, so it's an interesting place. You can actually just come and walk in, essentially, which I quite like the idea of. There's not many places you can do that these days, is there? So we just have a little walk down here into the back of the Thatcher stand. Take my sunglasses off so I can actually see what we're doing. You've got a bit of history of the club. Thatcher's name is all about cider in Somerset. It's sort of synonymous with cider. So basically, you see, expect delays when players access the pitch. So the pitch is there. That is basically the tunnel. So that's the way the players walk out onto the pitch there. And the changing rooms are here. So you turn around, obviously blocked up for now. But yeah, it's all very open sort of thing. So imagine yourself, you play for Bath Rugby, you're walking out there for the changing rooms, and you take to the pitch, walking up, and there you are. So yeah, interesting. And if you go further on down there, that takes you back to where we were before, basically onto the green open gardens. So yeah, it's so if you're a sports fan, of rugby in particular, you might not know that about Bath's stadium, the recreation ground, to give it its full name. But yeah, as a rugby fan myself, I find it quite interesting. So other people might do as well.